Let's piss some people off.
Hello, welcome to Iron Spice, the podcast. It has been a whole week since we've recorded, and I'm not gonna lie. I came yesterday from a little vacation, and I do notice that one, I did my hair last Tuesday. I'm just doing a small recap here, and also got a lot of sun while standing in that pool. That infinity pool, yes. So even though I'm using the same powder foundation, my face looks so dark. And of course, my hair is almost platinum, so it's a huge difference. Anyways, just wanted to explain the whole contrast and why do I look so darker. No, I don't do, bed tanning is something that I prefer not to do. So, but forever who does, I respect that so much. So, without further ado, today we're starting with episode 13. And I was thinking about other ways we could talk about situations that happen in a relationship. Oh, knowing that I'm talking from a woman's point of view, even though I know that things like the ones that I'm going to be talking about also do happen on men, with men. But today, as a woman, I will take, full on charge on how does a woman is allowed to be with her partner, when a woman is allowed to be herself, that's when she really shines. That's when she really is herself. If you do not hold space for your spouse or your partner to be herself, and the same goes with men, the lady she's not gonna come through with happiness, and she is always gonna be walking on eggshells. You can always tell when a woman is loved right because she shines different. For example, women were always told to be quiet, to not say their opinion, that they were not allowed to know anything, we were always taught to belittle themselves in front of their partners or their husbands because that's culturally or society expectations, as well as to how a marriage should be. And there's a lot of that in that. And also, what happens when a woman takes care of herself, looks good, and refuses to shrink because she has a partner who actually celebrates that she is that person instead of trying to control it. And that's right there the ticket. A man who does not try to control how a woman dresses, how she speaks, how she talks, ask yourself, why is he so controlling as to he has to say whatever you have to wear? And I'm not talking about coming into a commitment, because there's certain clothes as well that men use that women may not like for a man to use, but it has another context. But then again, if you already know how your partner is and how much you trust in your partner, and that you know that they're not having those intentions of putting on a dress or putting any kind of attire to make you feel not wanted or that make you feel bad, that is not at all. A woman who is able to step into her feminine side, into her feminine side of herself, she experiments a total different feeling than other women that are afraid that they're gonna make their husband mad by using certain type of clothes. If it is too tight or if it is too short, they do not like it. But isn't it like hypocritical once you see them in the outside, and instead of like looking away, they're staring exactly at the people that they tell their wife not to dress as? That's a very hypocritical way of being. For example, in my culture, I am Puerto Rican. The expectation of a woman, she must cook, she must clean, she must be modest, and don't outshine your man. In the personal cultural context, how Puerto Rican and Latin households, how they are behaved It's something that is very ingrained in us since we're very little. We're taught that women are supposed to stay at home, get married, take care of her kids, and she has to cook, clean, wash, do everything, and that she is just a servant instead of being a wife. Um, so that's the background I come from, and that's how, I was born in the 80s. So that's how my family, everyone, all of them operated. So also they they were taught to sacrifice their beauty. They could not express what they felt. It was like, since you didn't pay anything and they were the breadwinner, you were staying at home with the kids, you just would have to take whatever, because allegedly you married into that, and that you're supposed to stay there no matter what happened. And that is so not true. A lot of that has been broken already, but some of these stigmas about how you dress and how you allow or how you don't allow, you're not supposed to allow as a man. It's her body. So if she tells you, I hope you like it, this is how I like to dress, that is something that I had to do in this relationship with now my husband. When we started dating, I made it clear that I was not going to dim my light anymore. And that had happened to me in the past relationships, where it's like what I say, people like to be with someone that always likes to look spot on until they are, and then you are too much, allegedly, and they expect for you to lower yourself and dim your light because you're being too much, and they can't keep up with you. And did it bring any challenges to our relationships? I didn't see them as a challenge, but did it come with a certain thing that my husband didn't notice immediately? He told me, okay, so I need to step it up. So this man, instead of shaming me, he decided to step in my light. Instead of telling me, no, don't dress like this, don't do this, don't that, he's like, no, I'm gonna step it up. She likes to dress like this, and she always likes to be out there looking good. I'm gonna do the same. So he changed his wardrobe. He trusted me with his life to get his clothes and get whatever I want for him, because it's not my expectation from him. It's something that he wanted to do, and that's something that makes me 1,000% happy, super happy, because it's not having to fight that urge of like you putting something on and you walking around the house like, I hope he doesn't say anything, I hope he, no, what a fear. That is so, oh my god, the PTSD was that strong. And finally found the one that, instead of, and at the beginning it was a bit too much, because then when he noticed that I even got the attention, even like wearing a whole full on blue hoodie and baggy pants and like literally covering up to my neck, people were still gawking at me. He's like, well, okay, Iris, this is something that I can't deal with this. They're gonna say anything regardless. So the fact that a woman decides to take care of herself, what does that have to do with the fact of being a wife or a spouse? It does not define who you are as a person in the society. But then society decides to always punish the woman if they decide to be a mom, decide to be a wife, and also take care of herself, because that's selfish, allegedly. You are not selfish for taking care of yourself, because maintenance is feeding the soul. You're keeping yourself alive. And they call us high maintenance, and they we just refuse to let ourselves go. Because honestly, I do not get why society thinks that we have to look disheveled, or if we're going through something, if we're going through issues, that we have to be posting sad posts, or we can't be having fun, or we can't be going out. I could be having like the biggest battle in my life, and I'm still here shining and smiling and talking to you guys. And you guys have no idea what goes behind, behind me in my life. You guys don't know. So what we're trying to say here is the man that feels uncomfortable with his wife or his girlfriend that looks so gorgeous and that she she catches all of this attention. They don't like that when they're insecure. We're talking about who does this? People who are insecure of themselves. That instead of like, okay, how do I do to look good to sit next to you and for us to both be complimented and to be proud of the woman that you have next to you. And I do get it. There's a lot of people out there that do dress, that do their hair, that do everything, that live a whole life of just pure appearances. And all that matters to them is what people talk about them or what people say about them. Those people will always look for reassurance and will always look for the attention, and they're attention seekers, and they want to be the main event, the main character, all eyes on me. That's the kind of people, the fake people, they're gonna do that. But there's some people that, like us, that we just want to look good and we just want to go through life being ourselves, loving ourselves, and having a partner that loves us and cherishes for us. Do you have ever wondered why your wife does not laugh with you, or she's not funny anymore, or she is not being quirky or whatever? Have you noticed that she is not dressing up or she's not taking care of herself? That has to do a lot with her self-esteem and has to do a lot with the love that she has for herself or whatever she's going through. If you find yourself criticizing your wife because you're afraid that other men are going to look at her, so what? As long as you are 1,000% sure that your wife, you can trust her with all your heart, what is the problem? And when I'm talking about a woman taking care of herself, it could mean in any there's so many ways of you taking care of yourself, because not everybody has the same terms of like what is taking care of yourself. For example, my definition of what is like to take care of myself is like getting my hair done, doing my makeup at whenever I can, and it's almost every day that I do my makeup. I love my nails, getting my nails done, everything that has to do with my clothes, with how I look on the outside. I love fashion. Therefore, I will always be into that. So, not necessarily that means that the same way that I think of like taking care of myself might be the same for somebody else. Somebody else might be like, no, I can get a haircut every, I don't know, three months. And like, I don't do makeup. I don't like makeup, but I love doing bathtubs. I love taking hot tubs. I love milkshakes. I love reading a book. It's about what you like and what you like to do and who you are in this world. And why does it bother you so much that she wants to be herself? You have to look within you and see what is going on, and that has a lot to say about you. Because if you don't trust her, that means, why do you have trust issues and you're blaming it on her? And I tell you, ladies, what is it that is making you so scared and not to talk? And because us women, when we don't feel safe, we'll always walking on eggshells, silencing, our voices, dressing down and hiding our dreams. When a man who celebrates her freedom, a woman flourishes. When you celebrate your spouse and your wife's freedom, instead of criticizing her, and you celebrate her, just let her be. Just let her be her. Just love her how she is. And you'll see her turn into somebody else, because she is, instead of resenting you, because that's what usually happens when you do not, and this is not about allowing, because I don't like this word. She has her own, she is the one who decides what she's done. But then the society expects for the woman to always do what the man says, allegedly, because he's the head of the household. But then men tend to take this however they please, to bend the rules as to you're gonna do whatever I say. And that's not how it should be, because we're supposed to be a team. I follow you if you are a man worthy of following, because a woman follows a man that is worth of her life. I'm not just gonna follow any fool, because I find myself constantly leading until 8 years ago that I met my now husband. A man who's threatened by his woman's beauty or success isn't a king. He's a boy in a crown too heavy for his head. And also, with all this, it's not like I'm saying that, oh, she's gonna be like exposing herself or showing off everywhere. That's not what I'm talking about, because people confuse freedom and confuse all of that for exhibitionism and all that kind of stuff. If she feels good in those shorts and she feels good in those crop tops and tank tops, so be it. I love myself so much that I do not allow myself leave this house to show, not even to go to the grocery store. And that's just a personal preference. Nobody has to be like me. Okay, perfect. That's just who I am. When you come to look at everything from very just two sides of the view, you can see that what we're talking about is literally what we should have is just partnerships. So when you have a healthy partnership, it looks like mutual respect, freedom, and encouragement instead of dimming that light. And also, as we have talked about before, a woman creates so much resent toward her partners, and also lack of respect, because that man is making her feel that way, instead of when you feed that shine, when you step into her light and you let her be herself, she's gonna have a different kind of respect towards you. She's gonna love you on another level, because she feels safe to be herself in your presence and taken care of by you, and not feel intimidated by her, because you don't feel intimidated by her. You know that that shine reflects on you too. So why would you have her light making that exactly what's gonna make her resent you? Nowadays, we see a lot of women in the 40s and their 50s glowing like ever before, because they're finally free to be themselves. And I'm one of them. I'm 44, about to be 45, and I'm loving every moment of it. I never thought that 44-year-old me was gonna look like me. I thought I was gonna be really old. That's what I thought when I was little boring me. So when as partners we just appreciate and validate, each of our partners, that's when we flourish. That's when we become it. And women have been dim in their life for decades. So yeah, I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. A woman that takes care of herself and looks good and lives inauthentically, she's never gonna be told what to do. A woman that is already like that, you don't stand a chance. She rather leave you, rather not have a single relationship with you. She will not do it. And that's exactly what I did when I met my husband. That's one of the main things I told him during those first months that we met each other. As we got to know each other, I had moved here to Florida and I was working and everything. I did a thing that I allegedly thought it was gonna work. Then I had my hair like up to here, and I had like everything undercut. So you could see like a little bob, but really I had everything shaved underneath, and I could do a little ponytail here. So my hair was a little bit darker. It was not a pixie haircut. And I allegedly tried to blend in. Allegedly, like putting like cloth t-shirts and long sleeves and like jeans and whatever. Because the town that I live in, it's all about horses and all that. So No, I did not blend in. So when I decided to dress exactly how I usually like to dress, and that's what I told my husband, I'm gonna dress because I tried this. I'm like, everybody keeps looking at me like I am from a different planet. I might as well make it worth their while. So I decided to just be me and literally just let it go. And like, I'm not gonna blend in. I thought I was, no, there's no way. Until this day, I get asked a lot here, and even in Puerto Rico, I get asked where I'm from. Of course, if I'm speaking Spanish, that's not gonna happen. But if they see me, this is their first look, they're gonna think I am not Puerto Rican. To the extent that I did my DNA test because of that. And to my surprise, it came back I'm a 64, 65% Taina, which means that I'm native Puerto Rican. I'm like, okay, all right. Still, people don't recognize me as Puerto Ricans. They say that I look like I'm from Europe or UK. I don't know. So let's just think about this. For all of you guys that made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. Let's start working on this. Let's start thinking about this, and let's stop making society decide how is it that we should behave based on societal forms or based on culture or based on whatever. And of course, I do know and I do understand that every culture, every place, everything is different, and I have my respect for everyone, as well as also I'm not an expert, and this comes just exclusively from my experiences, my thoughts, and my opinions. So for further reference, please do your research yourself. And thank you so much for watching once again. Thank you guys. Till the next one.
And remember, we're unfiltered, unapologetic, and unstoppable. That's that.